This is Margaret Ann Windsor, and I have to use the name Peggy Ann Dempsey. I married Childers because I was kidnapped in 41 from Buckingham Palace, brought to Moulton, Alabama, and dropped off in a pigsty, a dump site, actually. If you call it a farm, that's ridiculous. The abuse, total abuse done to me, taken at age 2 from my mom and dad, Edward VIII, and Claudia Ruth O'Keefe Windsor, who was Queen of England in 36. She was married to my father in the Church of England. They were still alive and still married and together October the 20th of 86. And they were 40 and 45. My father was 45 when I was born. So I was born in 39, so you can, both of them were elderly. I was getting elderly myself. This is the O'Keefe genealogy, which I've put up. And this is Wallace Simpson, who married a double. It was all a lie. She's an American spy, and there were several doubles. Now, the reason I'm putting this up, and I'm going to turn it around here, is I recently was informed about a book. I haven't read it. I just Googled, and it does exist. And I don't know if other people, this is common knowledge or not, stating that Elizabeth, who's illegal, her father was illegal, they stole it from my father and kidnapped me, and they all knew it. They've kept quiet. But Elizabeth, they're stating, is maybe others have too, and I haven't heard it, but this book states that Elizabeth's father is Winston Churchill. Now, Winston Churchill helped take down my father and burn the Windsor files, which included, there's still, my understanding somewhere, birth certificates, my birth certificate and my father being married. They did a takedown, the Illuminati. The Church of England was a part of the cover-up. They married my mom and dad. They christened me when I was born, 39. So their role in it has been horrendous in itself. And I'm listening to over in Ireland now. Remember, my grandparents came from, well, my great-grandparents came from Ireland, and also from Holland, etc. But they were Irish, obviously. O'Keefe, Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, sister to artist Georgia O'Keefe. So they took down my father with lies and character assassination. They installed George VI, Illuminati. This is who has run this whole thing, and they're your global government now. Headquarters, the UN, United Nations, out of New York City, where Rockefeller Plaza, that controls your media, TV, all the media, is controlled by them. So I am wondering, Elizabeth is illegal, the whole lineage is. The Illuminati installed her father, George VI, when my father refused to take orders from the Illuminati. They're the Freemasons, the Mafia. Rockefellers, Rothschild, Bilderbergers. Joe Kennedy was appointed ambassador by Roosevelt, a Jew, in 1936 for the sole purpose of taking down my father and then kidnapping me. And JFK helped in the whole thing. He flew into England in 39 when I was born, and through 41 he even went and spoke before Parliament. What is JFK speaking before Parliament when I can't even have my name, my real name? So my point is, really, there's no question. The Brits told me the British government has told me my name to go and try. First of all, I can't afford one right now. Surely, after all those years, somebody has a legitimate DNA. But they told me I am. It fits a timeline, and I met my mom. October, she was elderly, of course. She was 40 when I was born, and my dad 45. They're still together in 1986 and alive after all they've gone through. I did meet her briefly here in Roanoke, and yes, that is my mom and was my mom. She didn't die in 84. They have deleted her photos. You can still see Georgia and part of the O'Keefe family, but the O'Keefe have suffered. So I guess another question is, the Catholic Church is being, and rightfully so, taken to task over the pedophilia they've done. Now, what about the Church of England? The Pope has gone to Ireland. It would be nice if they brought them both to task, because what happened to my father and mother, me and my children, when they took down my father and my mother and kidnapped me and brought me over here, and what was done to my sons who are heirs after me, is so sick and vile. So, is Elizabeth the daughter of Winston Churchill, who was given an apartment in the White House by Roosevelt, limo service and everything. They laughed about, there was a couple that came here, and I meant to make this a short video. There was a couple when I lived on the Appalachian Trail. I assume they worked for the FBI, well, they did for one of the agencies, or CIA. They were from New England. And they had a home right there on Salt Pond Road. And she brought a book up that was written by Eleanor Roosevelt, or her, it was her nephew or something that was Roosevelt, who was a writer, tried to be an Agatha Christie, which is absurd. He could never be. But anyway, they joked about Victoria not about me, I don't guess, but about Queen Victoria. I was named after my great-great-grandmother, and great-great-great-grandmother Victoria the first, and I'm Victoria the second. They called her the Mad Queen. This is Elizabeth and Philip in the Mountbattens. And anyway, this entails Eisenhower was friends of Churchill, and there was a lot more in the British government that got into this in the Church of England. My God, they have suppressed this, and I guess what I'm saying is they're bringing the Pope to task. Perhaps they'd like to finally tell the truth about me and my kidnapping and my father being taken down, married to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, Windsor, who was Queen of England, married in the Church of England. I was christened in the Church of England just prior to my kidnapping. So how about, is Elizabeth really even in line? It's illegal anyway, she is. Her father was illegal, George VI. Whole thing's illegal, that whole lineage, which means Charles, which means William and Kate and Harry and Meghan. They're all illegal. They all know the truth. I don't know about Meghan. She probably doesn't know the truth. They should be locked up. They're traitors. But is her father even George VI? She's illegal anyway, but she's certainly, the whole bunch of them's illegal. But is she the daughter of Winston Churchill? Really?